Hello, and a very warm welcome to this special show through which we want to shine the spotlight on the growing stature of Indian women in sport, particularly at the Olympics. As you will know, that at the recently concluded Tokyo Olympics, out of the 7 medals won by Indians, 3 were won by women. And that is not to mention athletes like Aditi Ashok and the women's hockey team, which came within a hair's breadth of winning a medal. The rise of India's women in sports has been captured by a report in PwC, which became the launch pad for this conversation. With me to talk about this is Neha Aggarwal Sharma, who competed at Beijing Olympics and currently works for Olympic Gold Quest, where she's played a role in the success stories of countless Indian athletes from PV Sindhu to Mary Kom. Neha, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and doing this with us.
Thank you so much, Amit. Really appreciate that and excited to be here.
Okay. Neha, I wanted to ask you, back in the days when you went to the Olympics, Beijing 2008 to 2022, whatever we've seen in Tokyo, how has the scenario kind of changed for women in Indian sport particularly, and particularly with the lens of the Olympics?
Yeah, I think we have come a long way, Amit. When I was playing, back in, I played at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. And, if you take my sport, table tennis in particular, the fact that I qualified for the Olympics itself was a big deal. We sort of celebrated that. It was after a long time, somebody from Delhi had qualified, for the Olympics in table tennis. So these were our wins. And now fast forward to
Correct.
2021, where, Manika Batra played the round of 32, and which is quite a
Mhm.
big deal, right? So I think just in terms of the performances, if you see, you just captured it really well, that, we've had medals, but we've also had many fourth places finishes. We've also had many firsts, right? Say in fencing with Bhavani Devi,
Right.
in sailing with Netra
Mhm.
Kumaran, and we've just come a long way. And I think overall, as a society, we are the acceptance for women to play sport has increased. The awareness has increased. Of course, the funding from the various stakeholders has increased massively. But also, I would like to mention the change in the mindset. Right, when I was playing at that time, for a young girl to play sport, and say play a sport like table tennis, where you don't even know what it is, right? Mostly it's like a basement sport, ping pong, tuck tuk, like people say what not. And now here we're doing
Right.
serious competitive sports. So the mindset towards the parents and schools and at the grassroots to help their daughters play sport, I think that's changing, and we're just progressed immense. And I only see a better future for women's sport in India.
Right. You spoke about the mindset. I was just we have these stats which say that at 2000 India had the first woman to win a medal at the Olympics. It took 12 years for another woman to come win a medal, and at that Olympics there were two medalists suddenly. Since then, every successive Olympics that we've had multiple women winning medals. What do you see is the reason for that? Like, did Karnam Malleshwari's medal kind of give a lot of young women also hope that that they can also go ahead and do this?
Oh, absolutely. The biggest thing for sport, I feel, is to have role models, right? To have those breakthrough performances, which gives young girls and their coaches and their parents the vision and the sight that they too can do it. And to win an Olympic medal is a a long journey, and thus you would see performances in only in successive Olympic games. Although we did not win, any of the women did not win medals in 2004 and 2008, but if you see, the participation had increased. Saina Nehwal in
Correct.
2008, she was she was a medal contender over there. So you have to factor in performances, not only just medal winning but otherwise. And absolutely, these women have been trailblazers from 2012 onwards. They say it's our women who've actually held our head high at the Olympics. So the narrative itself has changed, and we need these role models to give our younger generation the belief that if they have won, they too can do it.
Right. You just mentioned the narrative about how the narrative has changed, and even in a previous answer, you were telling me about how this perception that was there for table tennis. When you wanted to play table tennis, there was a certain way it was perceived. How has that kind of changed over the years? Not just table tennis, I mean, for other sports also, because in your work with OGQ, I'm sure you've seen all of these athletes in sports which are, very physically demanding. There's weightlifting, Meera doing a great job in weightlifting. There's Mary doing a great job in boxing. These are all very physical sports that I don't know if a few decades ago parents would have wanted their kids to, go play these sports. So can you just talk to us a little bit about that change in narrative?
Yeah, and absolutely right. You summed it so well, and not to forget the success of the women's hockey team as well, right? The biggest defining factor for them was the physical fitness. And back then, right, we would see our Indian women as timid, not too confident, not too physically strong, right? Because I think the advancement in sports science had not come until then in India. There were only a particular few sports where you would have the best strength and conditioning trainers, the best psychologists or physios working with these athletes. Now what I've seen is that not only at the elite level but also at the mid and the grassroots level, the awareness that fitness is a key component for any sport, right, that matter to be successful, that has changed. We now have much more knowledge, much more scientific approach towards this. Just as a quick example, I mean, I can take my example. I would say my approach towards fitness, what it was between 2001 and 2010 versus say 12, 13, and 14 in my ending years of my career, that itself changed, right? It was only in the fag end of my career I had a dedicated fitness trainer. I knew there is something called physiotherapy. There is an importance attached to it. I need a masher in my in my planning. So that awareness increased only for me in the later stages of my career. And if you see that that has improved, which has also led to I think increase in the longevity of these women playing sport, right? You see a Mary Kom, right, 38 years old, mother of four, who's still at peak of her fitness. A lot of work has been done in at the back end with a trainer, a physiotherapist, and a nutritionist to keep her up at that level. In table tennis, if you see, longevity has definitely improved. Well, say if in the men's scenario as well, right? Sharath is 39, Sharath Kamal, and he's still at the peak of his career. So overall, we see that improved, and certainly it gives the confidence that the playing career is not until till 28, 30. That's not when you end it, right? You can go beyond. So that also gives a lot of confidence to the players and coaches and parents to invest in the sport. It's not a short term thing that you can do. You can, and if you do it right, the planning is right, you certainly can sort of have a long career and achieve success in that.
Right. Neha, this whole conversation was brought about because of the new PwC report that has come in about the state of Indian, Indian women in sport, particularly Olympics. And if you look at some of the numbers in the PwC report itself, it's astounding that a country like China has actually sent 70% women to Tokyo. And you look at the other numbers where, you look at some of the top nations in the world. You had USA, where women have won around, I think, 23 gold medals from the 39 gold they've won. And this trend is the same for China and Japan. So this seems to be like a concerted effort from every country to push for more increased participation in women, right?
Yeah, I myself was really astounded to see that this report, and what was equally nice to see the increased participation from India. Also, the push from the International Olympic Committee to make it an
Right.
equal Olympics. This was the Tokyo Olympics was the first ever Olympics which had equal representation from both men and women.
Yeah.
And I think these changes, right, they don't happen overnight. There has to be a systematic effort, a systematic push that is being done from various levels. I remember when I went after I retired, I went to Columbia University to do my master's in sports management,
Right.
right? And there I had many different professionals from different countries, and that's when I actually realized the issue of women's sport being true to many nations. I had always thought that this is an issue only in India, but it was
Right.
so astounding for me to see accomplished countries like the US, Germany, Australia. They all struggle to send more, sending more women to the Olympic is a mandate. So for me, that was an eye opener, and it's just heartwarming to see the participation increase. The number of medals to offer has increased, and thus medal winning performances as well. And not only to mention just the Olympics, right, even at the Commonwealth and Asian Games level, you're seeing increased participation and medal winners as young as somebody 16, 17 years old, and that's just incredible to see.
Right. Yeah, just to sum up, I know you said that there has to be a more concerted push to get women into sport, and we looking at the numbers, we can obviously see that there is a rise from where we were in 2000 to now in terms of participation, in terms of medals, all of it. But what is it that federations or the government also should be doing more? I mean, there is obviously an increase. Things have gotten much better since 2000, maybe. But what are the areas that you see that things can get even better for getting more women into sport and getting them to perform better at the Olympics?
Yeah, I think one of the very critical elements is, confidence. How will that come in where we have support from various angles, right? I think from an employment standpoint, if you see a lot of our women athletes now are employed in PSUs, which is a great
Right.
motivating factor, because all our major athletes, right, come from families where having a safe, secure job is also a key criteria for them. So that is one. Second is recognition, right? I think that's got a massive boost. Say the awards, the national sports awards that are given at various levels, right? That is being given to women athletes, and it's only on merit, right? It really doesn't matter you're a
Correct.
male or a female. It's given on merit, and again, that
Correct.
that reinforces the belief of in success. Third, I feel like more important is the scientific approach to training. What can get better is that if we can get more women coaches, right, more women physiotherapists, more trainers, more scientific approach in terms of specific training that is required for women athletes. Say, for example, take the topic of menstruation, right? Till now,
Right.
girls probably don't know how to channelize their bodies, and what are the best practices in a way to manage their periods, and be successful as an athlete while managing these things really well. I think a push on these levels can really boost information, knowledge, at a, at a grassroots level, which only increases your confidence in sport. To me, that is very, very critical. And together, if we can get better in all these aspects, right? Having a women coach, it's always so important, because you can sort of share comfort, and just talk more. It just helps better. So I think these things give more confidence, and this will only increase participation, and increased participation will definitely lead to a bigger pool of women athletes that are just playing sport. That's, I think, what the mandate is, and will definitely seek success, because I do believe that women are far more stronger, far more resilient, and they do make it happen than as compared to men, because we're just born, we're fighters, right? So and now the opportunities that are given are there are going to equal. So I do hope and pray that these are the some other things can also get better, which will reinforce more confidence for women in sport.
Right. On that hopeful note, I think this is a great note to end the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and doing this, Neha.
Thank you so much, Amit, and I do hope to see much more success for our women athletes in the future.
Thank you. Same.